guest today is a genre-spanning American singer-songwriter, 11 Grammy Awards on her mantelpiece, which is heaving and groaning under the weight so far. She's back with her 8th studio album, her first solo project in 4 years. It's called Returning to Myself. It is a thing of great beauty, that's what I'll tell you. Welcome, Brandi Carlile. What a pleasure to see you.
It's a pleasure to see you.
And welcome. And how are you feeling about the world with this album about to be launched into the wild?
Oh, man, I feel really good about it. I don't have any trepidation at all that I can control, you know. I care what people think, but not really enough to change anything about the album.
That's a very stoical way of looking at things. Going, it's done. I'm proud of it. Whatever you do with it is up to you now.
At some point, you got to be.
You've got to be. It's called Returning to Myself. And Returning to Myself, to me, when you listen to the first track and you think, the clue is in the title in some ways.
It's a bit on the
nose. They won't need to call in Sherlock Holmes to decide what she's talking about.
No.
But why don't you tell people a little bit about that, about returning to myself and the point of that and where it's all coming from. And take a sip of that coffee first. That's the most important bit. The rest follows.
Thank you. Yeah. I think, you know, in the States, I think I had success like a bit late in life. You know, I sort of had a turning point in my career when I sang this song of mine called The Joke on the Grammys. And prior to that, I'd been in and out of tour buses and vans and playing theaters and working really hard, but I had never really had accolades like on the level that I had post that moment. And that moment just brought with it this kind of river of opportunity, and I couldn't say no to anything, any collaboration, any appearance. And I think I may have lost myself a bit in that time period of just showing up everywhere and saying yes to everything and everyone. And a reckoning was needed, a returning to oneself, I think, becomes necessary.
It's easy, isn't it? It's easy to say yes. It's much easier to say yes
than no. It's too easy to say yes, especially when you've been sort of opportunity anemic, you know?
Yeah. Well, opportunity anemic. There's a lot of people listening in, and in fact, you're talking to one of them on occasion. You become opportunity anemic. And then when the anemia wears off and dissipates, you find yourself saying, well, I don't want that to happen again, so yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I think I just yes, you know, my way through, well, since like 2018. So a long time of just trying to stay here.
Too much? Did you say yes too much, do you think? Or did you have to say yes all the time?
I feel really proud of everything I said yes to and everything I did. And it also gave me this album. It gave me who I am now. But, you know, I think I'll look back on it when my kids are older and, you know, I will have been like, well, that was most of their lives.
Yeah, it was most of their lives.
I drug them everywhere with me, you know.
That's not a bad thing, I think, sometimes.
I agree with you. You know, retrospect solves all these problems. But in the moment, I think just like every mom, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing too many things? Am I not doing enough things?
You spend so much time questioning, you forget about the living bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The living bit is having your kids with you, whether that's on tour or wherever you are in the world. I mean, I often say to my own daughters, your sadness is my sadness and your happiness is my happiness. And that's the way it is. It's almost a symbiotic relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing to say to your daughters.
Does it not? But maybe it's a selfish thing to say too, because you're kind of saying to them, it's all about
listen,
me.
I err on the side of codependence all day long. That is my whole thing.
It's funny to use the word err. Because I find as I get older, I err on the side of joy.
Yeah.
In a way. So if I'm lucky enough to be able to say that. So if the fork goes that way or that way, I'm just like, where's the fun?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you there?
Yeah, get me to the fun. I feel like if I did a personality test on you, you'd be a 7 on the Enneagram. You can look that up later, but it's the enthusiast.
Okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a really good thing. They're my favorite people.
Okay, so we're Labradors in the kennel here.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Elton's a 7 as well.
Elton John is a 7, is he?
Yes, he is.
Well, I can believe it because he's still going and still. I'm not going to say the obvious joke about still standing, but he's still. That's true. So no. I'm embarrassed of myself. What I'm saying is, and this is what I find with people, is like-minded. So if you're curious, if you're passionate, you will not ever be bored in your life, and you just keep going.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I bet your biggest fear is being bored. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's like that. Like one thing to the next, next. Forward motion.
It's exciting.
I love people like that.
But I'm talking about doing a crossword with your partner over having a coffee. That's as much a buzz as going to Brandi Carlile at the Palladium with Elton John, which I had such a great time. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know, the buzz can be as big and small as you want to make it in your head.
I think you're right. You're right. So it's all about sort of this kind of definition of how you're spending your time, you know.
Yeah. So you win all these amazing Grammys for your talent, but I bet you standing on stage taking a Grammy 1, 2, 3, 4, when it goes double figures, it can be as equally as parallel as important as that time with your kids watching a movie or walking in the park or doing something that might sound mundane but actually is very beautiful.
I especially like having them there, you know, for those kinds of things. They loved being at the Grammys and seeing those awards get won, you know, and they win awards too, you know. They get like, you know, my daughter was player of the match last week at her soccer game.
That's a Grammy for her.
That's a Grammy for her.
Yeah.
We put it right up there with the Grammys. She puts it there herself, I should say.
I bet you did. Listen, you were going to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say that you're absolutely right, that the reward and award are one and the same, which is time with my kids and my wife.
I love that. Your album, when I was listening to it, and I did the best thing I could to listen to it, it was just kind of in the kitchen doing what I do and listening to, rather than sitting, I will listen to this album. I want to hear it in a context of movement.
Of life,
as you would do when you're do you understand what I mean by that?
Exactly.
And what I felt about it was, and I'm going to bring it back local to my soul, which is Ireland, I found the music had an Irish, your voice has a really Irish lilt to it. It reminded me a little of Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries on occasion. Do you know that ululation that sometimes you do in grief, or there's a certain, I wish I had the knowledge for the words to describe it, but it's otherworldly. And I often feel that the Irish brought a lot of, and the Scots brought a lot of the country sound and bluegrass and what have you to America, and it's all a melange, really, isn't it? But your voice, you could sit in a pub in the west of Ireland and you would feel right at home, that voice.
I would feel right at home there too, and the Irish voice, it does ache, and it's unaffected. It has an innocence to it. Yeah. And I've always been really drawn to Irish voices and Irish music. And particularly, like, you're right, in the ways that we've had these kind of Celtic influences in the United States. And then when that kind of converged with the music that really African Americans brought to our culture, it became so much of what you hear today, and I'm really interested in the architecture and the foundations of that.
It's a collision of cultures.
It totally is, yeah.
But you're right in there, and you I think you've captured that magic, that fire in the jar, of whatever the expression. I mean, that your influences they're from all over, therefore. And you can sense that on the album.
Thank you.
I think about when you said that about African American singers and so on, that Elvis Presley, who you were backing singer to an Elvis impersonator when you were very young.
I was, yeah.
So you know your Elvis, right?
I know my Elvis, I know his hero is Sister Rosetta Tharpe.
Now, look at all the artists Elvis was arguably such a big figure because Sun Studios and Memphis, and they were playing artists who were African American. The radio DJs wouldn't play that music for obvious reasons, but they would accept it coming out of Elvis' mouth. So you had Jackie Wilson, and you had all these other artists who couldn't. And the backing singers, the Supremes, were all African American singers and what have you. And it's much the same thing, that beautiful collision of voices, and it's just a lovely sound.
Yeah, it is a lovely sound. It's a fun thing to be a part of. That Ken Burns documentary on country music was so enlightening, I think, to so many people, about that convergence of musical styles being the foundations of what, like, Americans call roots music, Americana and folk music. Yeah. It's just it's amazing to be around it, to actually live there and live that out in places like the Newport Folk Festival and stuff too, where it has such a legacy.
Such a legacy.
It's really cool.
You've named a song after one of your favorites, Joni Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
How did she come into your life?
Joni came into my life, obviously as a fan first, but I really didn't. I deeply rejected Joni Mitchell's music in my 20s.
Why?
It really bothered me. I don't know. I felt that it was overtly feminine or self-revealing in some way that just felt like a vulnerability I wasn't ready at that point in my life to tap into. And when I fell in love with my wife, now Catherine, she just wasn't having that ignorance. She made me revisit it, and through the context of maturity and falling in love, I suddenly understood how much I didn't understand Joni Mitchell. And that became a fascination for me. So I made up for a ton of the lost time in my 30s and wound up meeting Joni 6 years ago, and we began a journey together that's been unforgettable.
I mean, not only meeting her, but arguably encouraging her to do her first full-length gig for God knows how many years
Yeah.
at the aforementioned festival in 2022. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a leap from somebody who only a few minutes ago said that, yeah, I wasn't mad about her music. And now you're saying, get in there, you know.
Well, I was so wrong to not be mad about it. It's one of those embarrassments. Like if you have somebody ask you, like, what's your great embarrassment? I would be like, not understanding Joni Mitchell until I was in my 30s, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to admit that I matured as late as I did, but I did.
But she loved. Here, what's the hurry? I mean, you got there.
Yeah, I got there. Yeah,
Come
you're
on,
right.
You took a roundabout route, but you got there. Yeah, when you think of your story, I was watching you in the Palladium and with Elton John, and so you were an Elton John fan, committed from 11. But properly committed musically because of the piano and the guitar. By 16, you were all in.
Yeah.
And a bit like Joni Mitchell, many years later, he takes such a shine to you. He admires you. I think you're probably one of his favorite artists. When you were playing, I don't know, you probably couldn't see it, but I was in the audience as a punter. You were facing us, wowing the audience. Elton John was on the piano like a backing singer, and I say that respectfully. But I was watching his face through a lot of that as you were performing. And if ever I saw a father admiring his daughter on stage, while on stage together, that's what it looked like to me.
And you would know, you could understand that because you were seeing that in that way.
Really, I mean that.
Yeah, I know you do. It feels that way to me too. And when he's looking at me on stage, not just me, but all of the other artists that his legacy and music have created, he is seeing in a way his lineage, and not just through music either, but through his impact on the world, the way his charity and his kindness and also his queerness. You know, he has shaped me as an artist, but hundreds of other artists. And I hope he looks on all of us with this admiration and a sense of responsibility, because he really did pave the way for that.
He did. And musically, politically, socially, in so many ways.
Many ways, and continues to.
And your own charity is doing extraordinary work as well. You must be very proud of that.
I'm really proud of it, yeah. It's important to me. It's actually how I met my wife.
Is it really? It's called the Looking Out Foundation.
Yeah.
And this is Catherine you're talking about. How did you meet? Can we have an origin story?
Catherine, my wife, is a Londoner.
Is she?
Yeah, she lived here, and she was working for Paul McCartney and heading up his charity. And I was running a campaign over in the States, just a tiny folk artist touring in a band, but I had this campaign that sort of was in response to a crime that made the news everywhere.
Okay.
And Catherine had read about it, and she was moved by what we were doing and reached out to my managers and asked if her and Paul could do anything to help our cause.
Yeah.
And she started mentoring me then in charity, in philanthropy. And I thought that she was like in her 70s. Because she just talked about Paul like they were, you know what I mean? Like Paul this and Paul that. And I'm like, oh, I love this charity lady, this old lady that I'm talking to. And then, I was in my late 20s, and then I met her, and she was my age.
Yeah.
And I was such a shock because it had been like 2 years of corresponding with this woman. And
with this old, lovely, gentle old lady.
Yeah, this sweet old lady. And then we meet up, and I was like, wow, I'm going to marry you.
Was it that quick when you met her?
I was definitely really drawn to her, but didn't really realize what it was for a little while. Like, listen, just like Joni, it takes me a minute.
I was going to say, you didn't wait that long, I hope.
Yeah.
Wasn't the same thing.
Too long.
How old are your beautiful children, Evangeline and Elijah?
A 7 and 11. What about yours? 26
and 20.
Oh, wow.
God, I was having a Joni moment myself.
Yeah.
So they're young women now.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, with kids, because people get freaked out when they talk about kids. I said, no. First of all, other people's children's stories are probably quite boring, unless they're your own. But very briefly, I always say it gets better and better.
Yeah.
Especially
I wonder, and it's not boring to me at all. I do wonder because, there are things I can't fathom right now. Like, I can't fathom them leaving. And so I'm interested in what it's like to be friends with your kids.
Very quickly when my oldest first left, I remember wandering around the house moping and getting a little teary. And then she was gone. 2 days later, I had the music blaring. I could do whatever I wanted. I was up and down the stairs. And I was going, I'd always describe it as the harbour. They're little boats in the harbour, and then they go out. But then you stop being the harbour arms. You become the
lighthouse.
The lighthouse.
Yeah.
And that just goes, poof,
we're
here.
And you can always come back.
You can always come back. So it's a win all round.
Yeah.
It's a win all round.
I love that.
No, really. So back to very quickly on returning to myself. Tell me about where this album stands for you in your heart and your head and your soul.
this is easily the thing that I've made that I feel the most attached to.
Why is that?
I think because I'm such a workman, I had a job really young. I was a roofing laborer and a barista, and I worked in a grocery store, and I've always had a job. I've always had a purpose. And my music up until this point has been really workman style. Not that it's a job, it's a gift, it's a sacred gift. But it's always been like, okay, I got my songs, I got my notebook, I got my plan, I've got my marketing plan, I've got my tour booked. I'm going to get on the road, I'm going to play my shows, and then I'm going to get in the studio with my songs. We're going to record them in a circle live with our band. And there was a real ruggedness to the way I made albums. And I never didn't have a plan. And I went into the studio with nothing but feelings.
Wow.
And it could have all fallen apart. We could have wasted all that money and all that time and never recorded a thing because I didn't know if the songs would come. But they did, and when they did, and I didn't judge them like I usually do, I wound up making an album that is purely a stream of consciousness.
What a beautiful point to be at life, where you can make an album without personal judgment, because we can be our own worst critics. But if you could just go, out you come, let's be having you.
Yeah, and there's songs that are so personal. I mean, I remember like writing them on a piece of paper and going, why did I just say that? Like, and then sending them to my wife and going, we might have to talk about this song. But she's such a great artist and she's such a great person that she was like, record your songs. Yeah, we don't ever have to talk about it.
That's great, and that's great, and I hope she stands by this, Catherine.
She does.
She won't turn around and say, by the way, track 8 of that album, how dare you?
No, for lesbians, we don't do nearly as much processing as you'd think.
That's good to know.
There's a book, actually.
I said that's an album title.
Yeah, we know. Speaking of the titles, there's a book called like How to Work on Your Marriage Without Talking About It. That is just like that's my Bible.
That's your Bible. Two things I want to ask you. One, completely off the beaten track. One is, do you like fishing, right?
I live to fish.
And is it a fly? Do you like fly fishing?
I love fly fishing, but I mean, I guess if I had to pick a kind of, you're making me pick a kind of fishing.
I kind of am, yeah.
It's just going to be saltwater, maybe deep sea bottom fishing for halibut.
Just for the halibut. Yeah,
halibut.
I know. So no, all those jokes are too easy.
Dad jokes all day long.
All day long. In cod we trust. But you have no, come on. I should be picking a tuna from the album. No, but I love I just love fly fishing. I think fishing is a beautiful.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
With Ireland's full of. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And you turn your phone off. I just love the piece of fishing, and the sounds,
serenity. And when you're fly fishing, you're fishing a scene, so you're changing all the time. I love that about it.
It's like, it is like being in a portrait.
Rifles and seams.
But, there you go. I mean, that's exactly what it is, and it's a beautiful thing. And if you don't do it and you don't like it, that's fair enough. But honestly, if you give it one go, I think you'll find it hard not to go back every.
Yeah, you're gonna go back. Have you been to Montana?
No, I have not been Montana.
If you ever go and you don't call me, I'll be so offended.
Montana, call
Brandi
Carlile. Yeah, that's done now.
Okay.
Now the second thing and the last thing is, you asked about my daughter. The eldest one in karaoke sings. Her song is "Total Eclipse of the Heart."
Oh yeah, that's the one.
And is that yours too?
It's my go-to. Yeah.
Great song. It's a great choice.
Yeah. Hopefully she doesn't have to be as tipsy as I am.
Oh,
when
she
I'm,
does.
Okay,
Yeah,
Lord.
we all do. We all do. But we were out recently in the East End of London. We ended up in a karaoke bar with her friends. You asking what's it like when they get older?
Yeah.
If you can have that, where I go out with her pals. And I leave early now. I'm not going to overdo it. But I did my Sinatra number. She did her Total Eclipse, and a great night.
What's your Sinatra number?
That's Life.
Oh yeah.
Bring them in. Bring Riding High in April. Shut down. And,
I could have called you on that one. That tracks.
That does it really?
Yeah.
No. Is that good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
Really good.
Okay.
I like you a lot.
I like you a lot. We should keep going. I mean, what are we doing just ending it here? Brandi Carlile, what a pleasure. I really mean that. There's a karaoke bar waiting for us sometime soon, I'm sure. We've got to get out there.
A lesbian bar.
Bring me there.
A karaoke lesbian bar.
Come on.
You would dominate in that space. I think that is your audience.
This is fair. This is like a dream come true. Are there any in town that we can speak of?
You tell me.
Oh, I'm an expert on lesbian karaoke bars. I'm your guy. Brandi Carlile, returning to myself. Is it a thing? I'll end the interview as I began. Is it a thing of great beauty like yourself? Keep it coming. Don't be a stranger. You're always welcome to this studio. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Virgin Radio.